Our visit with Jack Benedict this morning, presented by Marcus and Mack, voted the best law firm and best personal injury lawyer 4 years in a row in the Best of Indiana County contest. Visit them online at marcusandmack.com. Jack, you were actually on your way to visit Ray Goss yesterday when you found that he had passed.
Yes, I was at the hospital, as a matter of fact, to visit with him. Was my plan, and they said he was no longer at the facility.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured, well, he got transferred for therapy to one of the personal care homes or whatever. So I went to my car, and before I took off, I sat in the car there, and I thought, well, I'm just going to call his cell number and see where he is, and I'll head over there. And lo and behold, I got his daughter, Christine, and she gave me the news.
Yeah.
That he had passed in the morning.
Well, Ray Goss, of course, as we said, meant so much to everybody in this building and really throughout the Indiana community, but throughout Western Pennsylvania and the broadcasting community nationwide. He was a real pioneer.
He was. Started in 1959. He did the morning stuff like you do and like I did.
Yeah.
And it was pretty crude back then, but, that's what you did. I think it was Get Up with Goss.
Is that what it was?
I think what it was, That was not his real name,
Mm-hmm.
His name was Gosinski, and he had changed it legally way back when. But, yes, I've known Ray for almost 60 years and came here and auditioned or whatever. Almost got here in 1968, but they didn't have an opening. So back in 69, in the summer of 69, my wife Phyllis and I were here, and we met with Ray and his wife Dee, and they took us out to dinner. We went to a movie, as a matter of fact, and about a month later, I started at WDAD, and that was in August of 1969.
You and Ray, of course, for many years with IUP Sports and your affiliation there, developed as well. Not only do we salute him for everything that he meant in terms of doing the daily show and broadcasting and really running WDAD for all of those years, but as he was as top flight as you get when it comes to sports broadcasting.
Oh, yes, no question about it. And, of course, he was a graduate of Duquesne, so his heart and soul was with Duquesne. He had broadcast their games on the campus station. And we got together the first year we did it was 1969 and 70, that particular season. And a couple of years after that, the basketball team, led by Randy Allen, went to the national tournament in Kansas City, Missouri. And that was the big tournament then, the NAIA tournament.
Mm-hmm.
8 games the first day, 8 games the second day. We had a 9:30 game on Monday morning. We phoned in reports, Kansas City updates. We did the games live, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And then who would know that 20 years after that, we broadcast the national championship football game in Alabama.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of years. How many people can say they can maybe think of their first employer,
Mm-hmm.
first person that hired them? Well, Ray hired me twice, 20 years apart. 1969 with WDAD,
Mm-hmm.
in 1989 at 1160.
Yeah. How about that? And I was hired to replace you.
How about that? See, we're all replaceable.
Yeah, that's the thing. Ray Goss, through the many years in which you knew him, of course, wore the broadcasting hat. But he was so involved in so many things. We've been talking about his affiliation with the fair. I don't think many people know he was a state tennis champion.
Yes, he was a very good tennis player. He and Steve Ware were a doubles team, and he played tennis for many years, and he was very good, no question about that. He had told me he had broadcast bowling for a couple of times. I never got into that, although my dad ran a bowling alley. But yes, he was more versatile than I would have to say. But we shared almost 20 years together broadcasting. First, with then it went up for grabs as far as the bid with IUP, and I switched stations and hooked up with him again a second time around. I talked, by the way, with his co-owner at 1160. I talked with Yvonne Lehman, Mark Harley's daughter, who runs the Clearfield station, Kerwinsville, and trying to make most people aware of what had happened. But he had a good long career. When you figure 58 years, and I don't know what that's going to be about, hopefully when I get started here in September, he never had a home game.
Yeah.
Duquesne played at home. He drove from Indiana to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
He never really had a home game.
That's true.
And that's not an easy drive.
No, it's not.
So, and he only missed a couple of games. Just remarkable.
Yeah, really. When you think of all of those years and you as a broadcast partner with him, the rhythms that you get into with your broadcast partners, I know that with so many guys that I've worked with, that relationship and you knowing what he's going to do and he knowing what you're going to do, that's something that really bonds the two together, doesn't it?
Well, the thing I think with us, and I told one of the reporters I talked with yesterday, I don't think either one of us, both of us were play-by-play guys.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't really analysts. But what we did, and I thank him a lot for when I left WDAD to go to 1160 and we reunited with IUP, and I thought, well, I'm going to he's going to do play-by-play. We shared.
Mm-hmm.
We did, in football, we did 2 quarters each. Halftime, basketball, we did one half, the other, so we were 2 play-by-play guys trying to find our way as what we were doing as analysts. But it worked out, and I appreciate that a lot. And the thing was, we never had an argument,
Mm-hmm.
A troubling discussion or this or that or whatever. We just seemed to get along.
Yeah. Well, he was that way with most folks. Probably all folks. And it's hard to find anybody who would say, I remember that time Ray and I got into it, because those people just don't exist.
Yeah, exactly. And our families were close too. And of course, we both suffered tragedies during our life, losing our wives, and had to regroup from that standpoint. And he approached me. We kind of got together after his wife Dee passed away, and I don't know if he ever listened to what the tips I gave him, but in any event, I tried.
Yeah. Ray Goss was 89 at the time of his death, and we think about people who enjoyed long careers in broadcasting, and the two of you both honored by the Pennsylvania Association of Broadcasters. Bill Hillgrove, who's been featured here with us this morning, he had a long association too.
That picture that I had, and I put it in my book too, of the 3 of us.
Yeah.
And that was at Rustic Lodge. I was the MC. Ray was the tennis coach that time at Indiana High. Remember, he did that too for a while. And Hillgrove was the speaker. So we were all there, and I'm really glad that I got us together to get that picture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, it's something I'll treasure.
For you, for the IUP community, of course, we've not had the chance to speak with you since the passing of Tom Beck either. And I believe his services went tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yes. Former AD Frank Condino and I are going to the visitation, and then the funeral is right after that. Tom and I go back a long, long way, and the fact is, when my teammates and I graduated in 1961 from Ramsey High School in Mount Pleasant, we left the cupboard bare. We were all seniors. Our coach retired. The new coach who came in was Tom Beck.
Was it really?
So that was, he became the coach there for a short period of time in 1962.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got to know him, of course, later on in the early 70s when he hooked up with Coach Davis. And the stories go on, and the memories are just, it's been a trying week.
Yeah, absolutely. But Tom Beck meant so much to the entire IUP community.
Yeah. I talked with a guy who was affiliated with Robert Morris yesterday, and I said, and he was a grad of IUP, but he works down there. And I said, the only Division I win that IUP basketball had was over Robert Morris in 1985. He said, I was young at that time, but I remember that.
Oh, yeah. Wow. But Coach Beck meant, again, so much to IUP and the entire IUP community. So did Ray. So do you. And you know, we have here the announcement coming yesterday of this year's inductees into the IUP Athletics Hall of Fame. And certainly some guys there that Ray may have called their games, one or two of them. But you called a lot of them. I mean, the Johnny Franco, some of the others who are on there that you may have covered down through the years. But it's a special time when IUP makes that announcement.
Well, I was surprised in a way that this will be the 30th year. And I haven't emceed all of them, but I've done many of them, and I've told them I'll do them again this year if they want me. Johnny Franco is a special person, too, because he and his dad, I broadcast his dad's game. Mm-hmm. His dad played with Jim Haslett. Johnny played in 2013, back in that era. And they're Dodger fans. so I, you know. And then you have, from the standpoint of Gary Milanovic, mm-hmm. I missed him by 1 year. Ray would have broadcast his games. Yeah. And he was in that era. And I remember when he was the AD at Butler, and I was making arrangements about a phone line. Mm-hmm. And I said, oh, yeah. I said, Gary, yeah, you're the old wide receiver at IUP. He said, yeah, and I'm a lot wider now. I thought that was clever. You know. And Doug Steve's uncle, Mike Steve, who was an outstanding baseball player, is going in, too. And then I will mention a couple of other people here. Ryan Yole, who was a fabulous baseball player and made it almost to the major leagues. I got called over there when Jeff Ditch was the baseball coach. He said, I have a Dodger scout over here that's working out Ryan. You want to come over? You bet. I was there, man.
Ryan Yole could hit a baseball.
Oh, he was. And he's I think he's still assisting coaching. At least he was until last year at Gannon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He, of course, his baseball career ended because he had back problems. And obviously that would be.
But we have a lot of great people. And then the coach administrator, Adele Heder, who was there for 20 years at IUP, soccer coach. Yeah. So we have a lot of, this is just a great event. And it will be the final Saturday in September because the first 3 football games are on the road.
Yeah. Saturday, September 26th, right before the Seton Hill game. Well, we've covered a lot of territory here, Jack, but I'm grateful for you for coming in to visit with us this morning.
I apologize. I'm a little disheveled because I wasn't preparing for this.
Our Facebook viewers are looking at you going, look at Jack. Look at that guy.
Well, the community here, I always tell people we all have to be someplace. Ray got to do Division I. He aspired to be in the NBA, and he came pretty doggone close because he did some ABA games, from that standpoint. But, people ask you, well, why'd you stay? Where are you going to go? I mean, this is a great place. So here we are.
It's a great place. Why go somewhere else?
Why go somewhere else? It may not be as good as you had it.
Jack, thanks so much.
Thank you, Todd. Appreciate it.
It is Indiana in the Morning on WCCS, Westwood One Sports.